Chapter 499. Lin Fei strikes. Haha, just as I thought, a motley crew with each harboring their own schemes, bloodthirsty martial god sneered inwardly at the scene. If these three truly joined forces, his situation would indeed be perilous. But now, even without seeing the world's origin, infighting had already erupted among them. Clearly, they were a disjointed group, hardly a threat. Lin, my friend, now is not the time to discuss these matters. Northwind True Person shook his head and slowly said. A formidable enemy. You mean this one? If I slay him, I claim 50% of the world's origin. Lin Fei declared, glancing at Bloodthirsty. If you can single-handedly defeat Bloodthirsty Martial God, what's half the True Spirit Realm's world origin to you? Northwind True Person responded, almost laughing in anger. He was infuriated not by the underestimation of Bloodthirsty, but by the audacity of Lin Fei. After all, he had been Bloodthirsty's rival for years, unable to best him. Now, an obscure martial god claimed he could slay Bloodthirsty. How could Northwind True Person not be enraged? Besides, if Lin Fei indeed managed to single-handedly defeat Bloodthirsty, granting him 50% of the origin would be justified. But was such a feat even possible? Improbable. Bloodthirsty martial god possessed 16 laws, a formidable force indeed. Even Heart Demon martial god wasn't confident he could trap Bloodthirsty in an illusion. And even if Bloodthirsty fell into an illusion, Heart Demon martial god combined with Northwind True Person wouldn't be able to kill him. Lin Fei turned his gaze toward Heart Demon martial god. Understanding Lin Fei's intention, Heart Demon martial god smiled and said, I have no problem with that. He was aware of Lin Fei's strength, but even with Lin Fei's prowess, Bloodthirsty was a top-tier martial god with 16 laws, not to be trifled with. Lin Fei challenging Bloodthirsty. Managing to withstand him would be impressive enough. Defeating or even slaying him. It was beyond contemplation. Heart Demon martial god also wanted Lin Fei to understand. Though he could defeat him, it didn't mean Lin Fei was invincible. It was merely because Lin Fei's laws happened to counter Heart Demon martial gods. Mi Qian chose not to intervene, letting Lin Fei confront Bloodthirsty martial god alone. With him and Northwind True Person supporting from the sidelines, no matter what happened, they could control the situation. Swoosh! Lin Fei stepped forward. Bloodthirsty martial god, meet your end. Seeing Lin Fei approaching, Bloodthirsty martial god sneered, thinking anyone can stand against me. Foolish. With a low growl. Boom. Bloodthirsty launched a punch. Simultaneously, a fleeting blood-red glow emanated from him. He was Bloodthirsty martial god, with all his power residing in his bloodline. His laws were also linked to his bloodline. Hence, with the surge of blood, his power explosively increased. Bloodthirsty martial god seemed brash, but he was actually bold yet meticulous. Upon engagement, he showed no mercy, always going all out. Saber World. Without hesitation, Lin Fei summoned the Saber World, instantly engulfing Bloodthirsty. Immediately, Bloodthirsty was suppressed, experiencing pressure from all directions. This was the fusion of Lin Fei's 12 world laws with the Saber World, a transformative combination capable of suppressing and sealing opponents. Bloodthirsty martial god was indeed powerful, possessing 16 laws. In terms of the number of laws, he had 4 more than Lin Fei's 12. However, not all laws are equal. Bloodthirsty's laws were quite ordinary, even niche. And Lin Fei? His were world laws. All-encompassing and inclusive, embracing myriad streams with profound and far-reaching implications. Under the overwhelming might of such terrifying world laws, Bloodthirsty martial god's punch, incredibly, failed to break through the Saber World. Rumble. Lin Fei's Saber World violently shook, with the ferocious power seemingly on the verge of tearing it apart, yet it ultimately withstood the onslaught. Bloodthirsty martial god's strike failed to breach Lin Fei's Saber World, and Lin Fei's counterstrike was imminent. Boom. Unleashing the power of 1,300 particle worlds, Lin Fei held nothing back. His physical form seemed to boil over in an explosion of power. He unleashed a devastating punch, landing squarely on Bloodthirsty martial god. PFF. In the next moment, Bloodthirsty's formidable body caved under Lin Fei's punch, spewing out a mouthful of blood. Bloodthirsty martial god seemed unable to believe the scene before his eyes. How is this possible? Your aura, the essence of thunder tribulations, doesn't exceed 5 times. How can you possess such terrifying power? He was in utter disbelief. Lin Fei's punch left his body riddled with dense, web-like cracks. Crack. The next moment, Bloodthirsty's body shattered like glass, completely disintegrating. The immense force of Lin Fei's punch obliterated nearly all his particles. No, blood regeneration. Blood reversal. Bloodthirsty roared furiously. Hum. Instantly, his blood emitted a sinister crimson glow, and in an instant, endless blood seemed to blanket the void, turning the entire space into a sea of blood. Simultaneously, in a certain part of the void. Boom. A colossal force, seemingly of immense magnitude, descended. It was the Sea of Origin, the power of laws. Bloodthirsty martial god, whose particles had been nearly entirely obliterated, was stimulated by this energy, and astonishingly, he rapidly regenerated. Yes, he was fully restored. Go. However, the rejuvenated Bloodthirsty, devoid of his previous arrogance, fled precipitously, transforming into a blood light, vanishing in the blink of an eye, leaving no trace behind. The void once again returned to its tranquil state. He didn't die and managed to escape. Lin Fei furrowed his brow. He had thought his victory was almost certain, yet Bloodthirsty martial god had somehow escaped. And that final technique, it seemed vaguely familiar to Lin Fei. It wasn't Bloodthirsty's own power, but likely the effect of a magical treasure. However, this scene left Northwind True Person and Heart Demon martial god astounded. What had they witnessed? Lin Fei's punch had nearly obliterated Bloodthirsty martial god, bringing him to the brink of demise. This was Bloodthirsty, the renowned martial god with 16 laws, yet he was almost slain by Lin Fei. For a martial god, such a defeat meant total annihilation. Previously, they thought it extraordinary if Lin Fei could even contend with Bloodthirsty. But now, the reality was before their eyes. Lin Fei had completely overpowered Bloodthirsty martial god. However, neither of them were ordinary individuals, and they quickly composed themselves. Northwind True Person, noting Lin Fei's confusion, calmly explained that was Bloodthirsty's bloodline magical treasure, which can expand or contract and is hidden within his particles. His bloodline magical treasure can store a certain amount of flesh and blood particles. As long as the magical treasure remains intact, he won't die. The flesh and blood particles stored within can immediately regenerate. However, that is Bloodthirsty's trump card, a treasure reportedly crafted by a martial ancestor himself. Not every martial god has such an asset. Lin Fei nodded, I see. His failure to kill Bloodthirsty was due to that bloodline magical treasure. It seemed one should never underestimate anyone, even a martial god. They too could have hidden means of survival, especially life-preserving tactics, which were endlessly diverse. Chapter 500. Redefining the proportions. Lin Fei cast a fleeting glance at Heart Demon martial god and Northwind True Person. The trio remained silent. Eventually, Lin Fei shook his head, conceding, ultimately, I still couldn't slay Bloodthirsty martial god. It seems I won't be able to claim half of the world's origin. His gaze lingered on Heart Demon martial god and Northwind True Person. Despite his assertion of not gaining half the origin, it was unmistakably clear to all. Lin Fei was resolutely intent on securing half of the world's origin. Northwind True Person's eyes narrowed slightly. He cast a deep, seemingly reproachful look at Heart Demon martial god. Why had he brought such a formidable force into the fray? Heart Demon martial god could only respond with a helpless shake of his head. Northwind True Person felt cornered, having invited Heart Demon martial god, who, in turn, brought Lin Fei into the mix. Lin Fei was far from a greenhorn martial god. He was akin to a massive crocodile, with jaws wide enough to swallow anyone whole. Once Lin Fei had entered the true spirit realm, he was not going to leave. However, the situation being irreversible, Northwind True Person had no other choice. To give up now was inconceivable. After all, he had steadfastly fortified his position in the true spirit realm over thousands of years to reach this juncture. To just abandon it all now would render his millennia of hard work fruitless. The world's origin was something he was determined to acquire. But the distribution could be renegotiated. Martial God Lin, with your formidable strength, our united trio can assuredly obtain the origin of the true spirit realm. However, the distribution ratio needs reconsideration. With your overwhelming power capable of dominating bloodthirsty martial gods single-handedly, we will rely on you greatly in the future. Thus, it's only fair for you to claim 50% of the world's origin. However, Heart Demon Martial God, with Lin Martial God's presence, your unique abilities might not have much scope to manifest. Would you agree to receive 10% world origin? As for me, although not in glory, my effort in the true spirit realm over thousands of years justifies claiming 40%, doesn't it? Northwind True Person was anything but courteous. Lin Fei would get 50%, he himself 40%, leaving Heart Demon Martial God with a mere 10%. This allocation visibly darkened Heart Demon Martial God's countenance. Yet, neither Lin Fei nor Northwind True Person were entities he could easily manipulate. Moreover, even if he disagreed and departed, Lin Fei and Northwind True Person alone were sufficient. Heart Demon Martial God suddenly felt that inviting Lin Fei had been a mistake. Nevertheless, he didn't leave. 10% of the world's origin was still substantial, especially considering the extraordinary nature of the true spirit realm. Besides, his illusions in the presence of Lin Fei and Northwind True Person indeed had limited effectiveness unless faced with numerous foes, and Lin Fei couldn't handle them alone. That would be Heart Demon Martial God's time to shine. Otherwise, Lin Fei and Northwind True Person were enough to contest the true spirit realm. All right, let's proceed with this distribution. Heart Demon Martial God eventually concurred. Relieved, Northwind True Person finally exhaled. 40% was quite satisfactory and almost a sure thing. But contemplating Lin Fei's formidable strength, along with Heart Demon Martial God, an idea sparked in Northwind True Person's mind. He then spoke solemnly, "Martial God Lin, Mi Qian, my friend. Since our trio is united and nearly invincible, with no rivals unless true monarchs intervene, why should we concede any part of the world's origin? Let's forcefully take over the true spirit realm, expelling all deity transformations and martial gods. Once the true spirit realm collapses, we can divide all its origin among ourselves." Northwind True Person's proposal was undeniably tempting and bold. He was planning to dominate the true spirit realm. Initially, only True Person Yuanxia, with his nearly 10,000 combat avatars, could dominate a powerful minor world and claim all its origin. Now, Northwind True Person also aspired to dominate the true spirit realm. Lin Fei's display of power had bolstered his confidence. Their trio might indeed stand a chance. After all, Northwind True Person had numerous combat avatars, and Heart Demon Martial God's illusions could ensnare many martial gods and deity transformations. Lin Fei, needless to say, would handle the most elite martial gods. United, they genuinely could monopolize the true spirit realm. I see no problem with that. Indeed, since we are invincible as a trio, why should we allow others to share in the world's origin? It should all be ours. Both Heart Demon Martial God and Lin Fei agreed. Ambitious as they were, each craved more of the world's origin. Northwind True Person, you know the true spirit realm well. If we are to forcefully take over the true spirit realm, you must orchestrate it. As for the formidable foes, leave them to me. The numerous deity transformations and martial gods, I believe Mi Qian can handle. And controlling the true spirit realm should be manageable with your many avatars, Northwind. Lin Fei's words outlined the trio's strengths and roles. All right, let's proceed with that plan. Thus, Northwind True Person began to strategize. Even the massive entity that was the Northwind sect under his command started mobilizing. War preparations stirred across the entire spirit realm. Bloodthirsty martial god escaped the true spirit realm. He took a deep breath and cast one last glance at the true spirit realm, his eyes brimming with reluctance and frustration. Bloodthirsty martial god was far from reconciled. He had almost certainly defeated Northwind True Person initially. Who would have guessed that Northwind True Person would bring Heart Demon Martial God and an unknown martial god with such terrifying power? Bloodthirsty nearly perished, a fact he knew all too well. Even now, he shuddered at the thought. Cursed Northwind, where did he find such a formidable martial god? Playing with fire, isn't he afraid of being overpowered and losing all the world's origin? A martial god without avatars can't control so much origin. It's unlikely he would oust Northwind. The more Bloodthirsty pondered, the angrier he became, unable to accept the situation. The world's origin had been almost within his grasp, but now the tables had turned. He had nearly lost his life. That martial god is very powerful. Together with Northwind and Emichian, their strength is even greater. I wonder if that old entity would be interested in a single true spirit realm. But now, I can't be too choosy. I must make that old entity intervene. The origin of the true spirit realm is a must-have, only then can I confidently face my night thunder tribulation. Gritting his teeth, bloodthirsty martial god steeled his resolve. Then, he transformed into a streak of light, departing from the true spirit realm. Chapter 501. The Purge of the True Spirit Realm. In the True Spirit Realm, the war had commenced. The War of the Great Emperors. And the Wars of the Common Folk. All unfolded simultaneously. The Northwind sect mobilized extensively, nearly emptying its nest to reclaim territories previously ceded. Naturally, the forces occupying these territories resisted, making large-scale battles inevitable. The mortal wars were bloody and brutal, but their outcomes often hinged on the victors among the great emperors. Lin Fei and Heart Demon Martial God took action. Even without Northwind True Person, they were sweeping through the many powers of the True Spirit Realm. Lin Fei witnessed for the first time the prowess of Heart Demon Martial God. 3 deity transformation powerhouses, their combat avatars collectively exceeding 100, descended like a deluge. Each avatar rivaled an ordinary martial god. Of course, Lin Fei was undeterred. His saber world could envelop and suppress them all. However, he was entangled by 2 martial gods, unable to extricate himself. At this moment, Heart Demon Martial God's illusions took effect. The deity transformation powerhouses fell into the illusionary realm. Their combat avatars became sitting ducks, effortlessly reaped by Heart Demon Martial God as he drew near. The ensnared deity transformations, despite realizing they were trapped in illusions, were helpless to escape. Eventually, Heart Demon Martial God annihilated all combat avatars of several deity transformations, causing devastating losses to their forces. They no longer had the strength to resist the Northwind sect. As for the 2 martial gods besieging Lin Fei, they were no ordinary foes. Yet, Lin Fei unleashed his full might, deploying his saber world and 1,300 particle worlds. He launched a punch that seemed to collapse the very void itself. Of course, it didn't literally collapse. Only true monarchs, the pulverizers of the void, could cause such a collapse. But in this minor world, Lin Fei's punch didn't collapse the void, but it did cause tiny black fishes to appear. Such a terrifying punch directly obliterated the 2 martial gods. Truly obliterated. Furthermore, as Lin Fei's saber world descended, some of the blood and flesh particles of the 2 exploded martial gods attempted to flee. However, they were swept up and suppressed by Lin Fei's saber world, and not a single particle was spared. These 2 martial gods had fallen. This was Lin Fei's first true slaying of martial gods, and he had eliminated 2 at once. The impact was staggering. The simultaneous fall of 2 martial gods sent shockwaves throughout the entire True Spirit realm. These were 2 great emperors. Previously, no matter how fiercely deity transformation powerhouses battled, they never perished. Even if all their combat avatars were depleted, they would survive. But martial gods were different. Once a martial god died, it was a true demise. Although the True Spirit realm had seen thousands of years of warfare and countless combat avatars had fallen, it was the first time for a martial god to perish. In an instant, many learned of Lin Martial God's renown. They also became aware of the alliance between Lin Fei, Heart Demon Martial God, and Northwind True Person. They were clearing the field to dominate the True Spirit realm. Northwind True Person, Martial God Lin Fei, and Heart Demon Martial God, they are too greedy, intending to monopolize the True Spirit realm. I've invested thousands of years in the True Spirit realm. How can I just give it up? But what can you do if you don't give up? Can you contend with Lin Fei? HMPH, if Northwind can seek help, can't we do the same? If it comes to it, let's destroy the True Spirit realm entirely. Many uttered vicious curses, even becoming hysterical. They began to mobilize every connection available, preparing for a massive showdown in the True Spirit realm. As a result, the entire divine realm was shaken. Countless forces were alarmed. Numerous martial gods and deity transformation powerhouses, usually reclusive, now emerged one after another. In the 10 Directions realm, an ancient martial god sat solemnly in his cave abode. Within a radius of 3,000 miles, there reigned an eerie silence, a desolation where even a blade of grass withered to yellow. No sign of life, just an oppressive aura of death. This was the Extinction Martial God. Master of the law of death, each of his movements resonated with the Grim Reaper's descent. Few dared to provoke the Extinction Martial God. Though he had only undergone tribulation 5 times, that was sufficient. These mere 5 instances elevated him to the pinnacle of martial gods, renowned and formidable. The Extinction Martial God's communication stone vibrated. He appeared somewhat surprised. For many years, his stone had seldom stirred, as few wished to involve themselves with the Extinction Martial God. But the message within the stone brought a smile to his face. The true spirit realm. Overwhelmed by a single martial god, it's been ages since one so dominant has appeared. I wonder, what law does this martial god master? The Extinction Martial God murmured to himself. He had dwelt in his abode far too long, his 6th thunder tribulation still unattempted. Not for lack of confidence, but because the Extinction Martial God sought to plunder one more law. Yet, his ascetic endeavors seemed to yield little. Perhaps a venture to the true spirit realm to obtain its origin might be a wise choice. Moreover, it's time to repay an old debt. He continued, contemplating the favors owed since his weaker days, now dwindled in number. The one who had contacted him was among those to whom he owed a favor. Assisting this time would equate to repaying the debt. Thus, the Extinction Martial God rose, stepping out in a single stride, vanishing from his abode. In the yin-yang immortal realm, within an immortal mansion, meditation true person was meditating on a cushion. Suddenly, his communication stone vibrated intensely. Picking it up, meditation true person's expression darkened slightly after reading the message. Setting the stone aside, he pondered deeply. The true spirit realm. Heart demon martial god. And Northwind true person, along with a martial god Lin. Meditation true person murmured to himself. The invitation he received was to join the fray in the true spirit realm for the struggle over its origin. The imminent collapse of the true spirit realm marked the prime time for this contention. The deity transformation cultivator who invited him had laid plans in the true spirit realm for a millennium, now on the brink of reaping the rewards. How could they possibly relent? Hence, the call to the meditation true person. I'm just a step away from fully comprehending the secrets of space. Like flowers in a mirror or the moon reflected on water, seemingly just a layer away. But if I cannot pierce through this layer, the opportunity will forever elude me. Meditation true person continued softly. Just one layer separated him from becoming a true monarch, but it was a barrier that 1,000 years of arduous cultivation couldn't surmount. Perhaps an abundance of the world's origin could provide the needed boost. As for danger, meditation true person never feared any peril. Besides, with his current strength, venturing into the true spirit realm meant quelling any dissent. After all, he had over 1,000 combat avatars. Though not as fearsome as initial evil true person's tens of thousands, 1,000 was more than enough to face any threat. Even martial gods would be hard-pressed against his forces. Thus, what meditation true person considered was not the danger, but the potential gains of the journey. The true spirit realm, home to Heart Demon Martial God. He is the Heart Demon Martial God, and I am meditation. Let's see if his illusions can stir demons in my heart. A flicker of intrigue passed through meditation true person's eyes. He prided himself on his unblemished spirit, devoid of any flaw. Facing Heart Demon Martial God might just be the test he needed. With that, meditation true person stood up, transforming into a streak of light, vanishing without a trace. Chapter 502. Formidable foes arrive. The first clash, the Heart Demon Martial God defeated. In the realm of true spirit, a stir was caused among the many powers of the divine realm. Numerous mighty ones, including the top martial gods and deity transformation cultivators, flocked to true spirit realm. For a time, this realm became a nexus of converging forces. Countless individuals were eager to claim their share in the true spirit realm. However, this did not affect the pace at which Lin Fei, the Heart Demon Martial God, and Northwind true person divided the realm amongst themselves. There was little substantial resistance to dissuade the trio. They were now on the verge of controlling the entire true spirit realm. Even the arrival of more powerful beings seemed futile, as none had dared to openly confront Northwind True Person or the Heart Demon Martial God. At that moment, within the grand hall of the Northwind sect in the True Spirit realm, Northwind True Person, the Heart Demon Martial God, and Lin Fei sat elevated above the rest. Below them, a dense gathering of martial kings and nascent soul cultivators assembled. The Heart Demon Martial God spoke coldly, "Northwind, how much longer until True Spirit realm collapses?" "Soon, in no more than 3 months, the realm will inevitably collapse," Northwind replied. 3 months? That's too long. To avoid unforeseen complications, we must hasten the collapse of True Spirit realm. Do you have a method to expedite its collapse? Indeed, there is a way. The best method is through combat, particularly between martial gods and those in deity transformation. The fiercer the battle, the quicker the realm will collapse. Martial gods and deity transformation cultivators clashing. Perfect. Recently, many old-timers have arrived in the realm, still basking in the glory of their past. A cold murderous intent flashed in the Heart Demon Martial God's eyes. The realm of True Spirit had become a powder keg, ready to explode at any moment. The powerful martial gods and deity transformation cultivators had entered the realm but remained merely as observers. However, in True Spirit realm, their presence was a form of deterrence. Therefore, the Heart Demon Martial God planned to take the initiative and eliminate the increasing number of martial gods and deity transformation cultivators. This could trigger a chain reaction, potentially leading them to confront numerous opponents of similar caliber. Northwind True Person, not wanting to unnecessarily complicate matters, remained hesitant. "Martial God Lin, what are your thoughts?" he inquired, turning to Lin Fei. Northwind True Person was keenly aware that among the three of them, Lin Fei was actually the strongest. In terms of fame, Lin Fei couldn't compare to the Heart Demon Martial God or Northwind True Person. Yet, despite his relative obscurity, Lin Fei's strength was terrifyingly formidable. With a swift motion, Lin Fei suddenly opened his eyes. His gaze pierced through the void outside the Northwind sect, and he spoke with an even tone, "There's no need for us to take the initiative anymore. Because they have already arrived." Arrived? Both Northwind True Person and the Heart Demon Martial God tensed up at this revelation. They immediately turned their attention towards the void outside the Northwind sect. In a swift stride, the three of them stepped into the void. There, in the midst of the void, 2 figures had appeared. One was a martial god and the other a deity transformation cultivator. The mere presence of these 2 formidable beings sent shockwaves through both Northwind True Person and the Heart Demon Martial God. How could it be them? Their voices trembled with disbelief. "Who are they?" Lin Fei asked calmly. Northwind True Person, gazing at the deity transformation cultivator, spoke gravely, "From the yin-yang immortal realm, it's Meditation True Person. People might not be aware of his background, but I am. Meditation True Person, despite seeming inactive for a long time, possesses immense strength among those in deity transformation. His battle avatar alone might number in the thousands. Moreover, Meditation True Person places great emphasis on the spirit. His mind is said to be flawless, without a single imperfection, perfectly countering the illusions of the Heart Demon Martial God." Northwind True Person understood Meditation True Person exceptionally well. After all, they were both top-tier deity transformation cultivators. Northwind naturally had knowledge of potential adversaries, and Meditation True Person had been marked as a potential rival. His capabilities were already well known to Northwind, who had not expected that the turmoil in the True Spirit realm would draw out Meditation True Person. And him. Lin Fei then turned his gaze towards the other martial god. The Heart Demon Martial God spoke solemnly. "He is the Extinction Martial God from the 10 Directions realm. Master of the laws of death, though he has only transcended the 5th heavenly tribulation, he is already a top-tier martial god. His unique mastery of these laws makes his power immensely fearsome. He once famously slew 3 martial gods in a single battle, owning a notorious reputation. Wherever Extinction Martial God goes, carnage follows. It's unexpected that he too would come to True Spirit realm. Master of the laws of death." Lin Fei's eyes sparkled with interest. Indeed, this was a rare and powerful law, difficult to master and extremely formidable. Meditation True Person, with thousands of incarnations, and Extinction Martial God, Master of the laws of death, both stood at the pinnacle of deity transformation and martial god realms. It was remarkable that they were now gathered together in one place. Meditation True Person looked at the Heart Demon Martial God and others, speaking slowly. Heart Demon Martial God and Northwind True Person, your strengths are not to be underestimated. Particularly the Heart Demon Martial God, your illusionary techniques are rare. I am curious to see if your illusions can find a flaw in my flawless spirit. Extinction Martial God spoke succinctly. Today's battle will surely see a downfall. His words were brief, but they carried a chilling undertone of lethal intent. At this moment, countless eyes in the void watched the standoff. The fate of the true spirit realm might be decided in this battle. Even more, this confrontation had the potential to shatter the true spirit realm, possibly revealing the world's origin. Some were thinking of the proverb, the mantis stalks the cicada, unaware of the oriole behind. Despite knowing that countless onlookers were focused on this great battle, the Heart Demon Martial God, Northwind True Person, and Lin Fei had no choice but to fight. Without overcoming Meditation True Person and the Extinction Martial God, they could not gain complete control over the true spirit realm. Kill. Without any flourish, the Heart Demon Martial God uttered a low command. Instantly, an invisible wave enveloped Meditation True Person and Extinction Martial God. It was the law of illusion. The law of illusion, combined with the Heart Demon Martial God's own deceptive arts, was nearly invincible. It could intensely impact any martial god or deity transformation cultivator. However, this art had its advantages and disadvantages. If the spirit was flawed, falling into the illusion would mean being unable to extricate oneself, potentially leading to eternal entrapment in the fantasy. But, for those with a resolute spirit or a flawless mind, the illusion would be ineffective. In such cases, the Heart Demon Martial God would be rendered powerless. As the illusion descended, Meditation True Person's eyes flickered slightly. Then, with a shake of his head and a slight smile, he said, "Your illusion is indeed strong. However, it's a pity that my spirit is truly flawless, without any imperfections. Your illusion has no effect on me." Meditation True Person effortlessly broke through the Heart Demon Martial God's illusion. Or rather, the illusion was incapable of pulling Meditation True Person into its realm of fantasy. What was more surprising was the reaction of Extinction Martial God. His eyes showed a momentary hint of confusion before he swiftly regained clarity. He too had experienced and broken out of the illusion. "My spirit has already been stilled, your illusion cannot make me succumb," Extinction Martial God stated, rendering the Heart Demon Martial God silent. In that instant of confrontation, he had already been defeated. Chapter 503. 3 breaths, slay Extinction Martial God. Many were still unaware of what had just transpired. They didn't even realize that the Heart Demon Martial God had been defeated. In the brief instant just now, the Heart Demon Martial God had clashed with Meditation True Person and Extinction Martial God, and the result was a crushing defeat for him. Although it seemed he hadn't sustained any physical injuries, his most prized illusion techniques were ineffective against the two, rendering him practically useless. In terms of physical strength, the Heart Demon Martial God was hardly worth mentioning. Thus, while it appeared to be a 3-against-2 scenario with Lin Fei, Northwind True Person, and the Heart Demon Martial God against Extinction Martial God and Meditation True Person, it was effectively a 2-on-2 battle. Lin Fei could only truly rely on Northwind True Person. Could Northwind True Person withstand either Meditation True Person or Extinction Martial God? It seemed highly unlikely, unless Lin Fei could slay Extinction Martial God first. Only then would they stand a chance of victory. 3 breaths, slay Extinction Martial God. Lin Fei suddenly declared. The Heart Demon Martial God and Northwind True Person immediately understood his intention. Not only did they grasp it, but so did Extinction Martial God and Meditation True Person, especially Extinction Martial God, who felt as if he had been greatly insulted. A terrifying aura erupted from his entire being. For so many years, no martial god has ever dared to claim they could kill me in 3 breaths. What makes you think you can? The aura emanating from Extinction Martial God was immense, symbolizing endless slaughter and murderous intent, overwhelming as if it could shatter the spirit. This very aura of slaughter was what kept Extinction Martial God from falling into the Heart Demon Martial God's illusions. Saber World, descend. Lin Fei didn't speak further. Instead, he immediately invoked the Saber World. In an instant, Saber World descended, and the 13 laws of the world fearlessly merged with it. The power of the entire saber world surged overwhelmingly, crushing towards Extinction Martial God from all directions. One breath. Ha ha ha, saber world. Just that. Extinction Martial God laughed. It seems to be a very special law, akin to a miniature world. But can it trap me? Can it kill me? Land of deathly purification, infernal fist, break. Extinction Martial God roared, ready to shatter the encroaching world with his power. Buzz. Extinction Martial God took action. With a single punch, a chilling, blood-soaked law enveloped him, the law of death. This law seemed to be applicable not only against enemies but could also be used on oneself. Sensing the uniqueness of Lin Fei's law, Extinction Martial God did not use the law of death to suppress Lin Fei. Instead, he applied it to himself, instantly creating something akin to a domain of death, a purified land. However, this purified land was saturated with death, slaughter, and bloodshed, resembling a hellish landscape. Extinction Martial God, embodying the essence of extinction, death, and slaughter, struck the saber world with immense force. The impact on the saber world was staggering. Crack. As expected, the saber world shattered, a fissure breaking through it. As the saber world crumbled, an overwhelming aura of death spread out. At this moment, Lin Fei did not hesitate anymore. 2 breaths had already passed since he deployed the saber world in an attempt to suppress and seal Extinction Martial God, to the moment Extinction Martial God shattered it with a punch. Then came the 3rd breath. Boom. Inside Lin Fei, 1,300 particle worlds erupted. Right at the moment when Extinction Martial God broke the saber world, Lin Fei's internal particle worlds exploded. His body, surging with ferocious power, grew to a giant-like stature, and the tremendous force seemed to fracture the very void itself, causing thin black fissures to appear. Even separated by the saber world, Extinction Martial God seemed to sense the unimaginable power within Lin Fei, a power capable of annihilating everything. 3 breaths. Lin Fei roared and threw a punch. Boom. Extinction Martial God's eyes widened. His entire body was engulfed in the law of death, appearing like a cloud of black mist. Simultaneously, a set of armor adorned with ghastly bone spurs appeared on him, the bloodline armor. Crack, crack. However, under Lin Fei's punch, this bloodline armor shattered instantly. The vast power, like an overwhelming wave, mercilessly hammered into Extinction Martial God's physical form. Countless particles in Extinction Martial God's body were annihilated in an instant. After all, having lost the law of death and the treasure of his bloodline, Extinction Martial God was merely a martial god who had transcended 5 heavenly tribulations. He wasn't extraordinary. At least, the defense was Extinction Martial God's weakness. Silence. Suddenly, the surroundings fell eerily quiet. The entire void stilled. Countless gazes were fixed on this area of the void, the battlefield. However, the owners of these gazes seemed unable to believe what they had just witnessed. Dead. Extinction Martial God was dead. Not even a single particle remained. He had completely fallen, and the timing was exactly 3 breaths. How is this possible? Extinction Martial God is dead. Truly dead, not a trace of life left. Even Extinction Martial God's bloodline treasure was instantly shattered. How terrifying must Lin Fei's punch have been? Extinction Martial God, always the bringer of slaughter and death to others, has now fallen himself. The divine realm will no longer have Extinction Martial God. Many were shocked or emotional. Extinction Martial God, a figure of notorious fame, had fallen exactly within the 3 breaths as Lin Fei had declared. Even Northwind True Person and Meditation True Person, each manifesting countless avatars in their relentless battle, paused in their fights. Compared to their prolonged struggle, the clash between Lin Fei and Extinction Martial God ended far too swiftly. Just 3 breaths and Extinction Martial God was truly dead. In that moment, Meditation True Person was deeply shaken. The formidable Extinction Martial God, who had seemed invincible and inscrutable just moments ago, had not survived even 3 breaths before falling. Was it that Extinction Martial God had overrated his own abilities and was actually weak? Or was it that Lin Fei had been concealing his terrifying strength all along? Meditation True Person inclined towards the latter explanation. After all, Extinction Martial God had a well-established reputation backed by genuine accomplishments, not mere boastfulness. For meditation true person, witnessing such a powerful martial god was a first. However, he was not intimidated. Proud and self-assured, he had stumbled upon extinction martial god by chance. In his plans, there was no need for alliances. He alone could dominate the true spirit realm and suppress everything within it. With extinction martial god's death, it was an opportunity for meditation true person to demonstrate his true strength. He swiftly retreated, then stood with his hands behind his back in the midst of the void. Northwind true person, martial god Lin, he called out. You seek battle, do you not? Well, face my 1,300 prime battle avatars. Can you annihilate them all? As meditation true person's words echoed, there was a powerful tremor in his body. Then, a massive number of prime battle avatars emerged from within him, materializing in the void. They were densely packed, each avatar comparable to an average martial god in strength. Furthermore, there were 1,300 of these formidable avatars, which formed an array and instantly sealed off the void, even locking down the entire realm of true spirit. Chapter 504. Saber World Unleashed, annihilating 1,300 avatars in one stroke. See this. Meditation true person declared with a piercing gaze, devoid of any modesty, exuding an aggressive and unmatched aura. This is my greatest reliance for dominating the divine realm. Who in true spirit realm can stand against me? Northwind true person, do you think you can stop me? Northwind true person fell silent. 1,300 prime battle avatars, although he had suspected that meditation true person might possess over 1,000, the actual number of 1,300 was still a significant leap. Especially when these densely packed avatars, eclipsing the sky, made their overwhelming presence felt. Each avatar was a match for a martial god. 1,300 martial gods combined, the sheer terror of it was unimaginable, let alone their ability to form a formidable array, virtually making them unstoppable. No wonder initial evil true person could fight for a minor world, seize all its world origin, and ultimately become a true monarch. With tens of thousands of prime battle avatars, the shock must have been immense. Indeed, a great number is impressive, Lin Fei said, his eyes cold. Ordinary martial gods might indeed be helpless against you. But not me. Buzz. The next moment, the saber world descended. The void seemed to invert like a celestial dome, a wave of white light engulfing the space, including meditation true person's 1,300 avatars. An ordinary martial god, even with the law of the world, could seal only one avatar with one world law. Lin Fei, with merely 12 world laws, could at most seal 12 avatars. But what use would it be to seal 12, 20, 30, or even 100 avatars against meditation true person's 1,300? But Lin Fei was different. Any other martial god, facing meditation true person's 1,300 avatars, might not have a good solution unless relying on physical prowess to confront and slay them one by one. But Lin Fei had the saber world. His saber world, once deployed over an area, could suppress everything within its range. This applied even to deity transformation entities. As long as they couldn't break his saber world, they would all be suppressed. Thus, when Lin Fei unleashed the saber world, it immediately enveloped meditation true person's 1,300 prime battle avatars. Suppress, he commanded. The entire saber world trembled violently as Lin Fei exerted its suppressive power. The 12 world laws fused with the saber world, significantly amplifying its might. To the saber world, quantity did not matter. What mattered was whether there was any force capable of breaking it. From this perspective, Lin Fei's saber world could easily suppress deity transformation entities, regardless of their number of avatars. However, suppressing a martial god was more challenging. After all, the power of a martial god was inherent, each punch and kick carrying immense might. The effectiveness of the saber world suppression was comparatively weaker against them. But suppressing 1,300 prime battle avatars, that was easy. What's happening? Meditation true person panicked. Why are all my battle avatars suppressed? They can't even move. Is this the saber world? How can the saber world be so powerful? Saber world combined with laws. He had never encountered such a situation before. He thought that with 1,300 avatars, victory was assured. Northwind true person was no match for him, and as for Lin Fei, a mere martial god, how many avatars could he possibly destroy? At worst, he would use 100 avatars to contain Lin Fei, then deal with Northwind True Person first before slowly encircling and killing Lin Fei. This was a common strategy deity transformation cultivators employed against martial gods, a gradual, enclosing kill. But he had never anticipated Lin Fei possessing the Saber World, let alone it suppressing all 1,300 of his prime battle avatars. No matter how he tried to command them, the avatars remained unresponsive, completely immobilized. Only now did Meditation True Person start to panic. However, his anxiety was futile at this stage. Boom. Lin Fei made his move. His particle worlds erupted with formidable power. It seemed as if he had sprouted multiple arms, with each grasp, several of Meditation True Person's prime battle avatars were obliterated. Under the suppression of the Saber World, these avatars were like stationary targets, utterly defenseless. A single particle world from Lin Fei was sufficient to easily shatter an avatar. In a brief span of time, Meditation True Person lost dozens of his avatars. Despite having 1,300 of them, each was a result of tens of thousands of years of cultivation and some fortunate encounters. To lose so many in just a few breaths was agonizing for him. Worse still, these losses weren't even in direct combat but as if they were mere sitting ducks, methodically eliminated by Lin Fei. As time progressed, Lin Fei, in his true martial king form within the Saber World, relentlessly continued his destruction of avatar after avatar. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. By the time Lin Fei had dispatched nearly 500 avatars, Meditation True Person couldn't bear it any longer. "Stop, let's cease the fight," he pleaded. "I concede defeat and will no longer involve myself in the affairs of True Spirit Realm. My avatars have not been easy to cultivate. Please, Martial God Lin, show mercy." However, Lin Fei did not halt his onslaught. He continued to obliterate Meditation True Person's avatars, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000. Soon, Meditation True Person fell silent, watching helplessly as all his avatars were annihilated. The despair he felt, after seeing the result of tens of thousands of years of cultivation destroyed in a single battle, was unimaginable. "Lin Fei," he exclaimed in a venomous tone, "I will remember this. I will always be watching you." After issuing this spiteful curse, Meditation True Person detonated his few remaining avatars in a massive self-destruction. He wouldn't die from this act, he still had other avatars in different parts of the divine realm. However, this battle had severely weakened him. To cultivate 1,300 prime battle avatars again would take tens of thousands of years, and without any fortunate encounters, it might be impossible to achieve even in that time frame. Therefore, his malicious curse was of little concern. Lin Fei was not one to easily forgive others. Eradicating evil was a necessity. Allowing the Meditation True Person to retain his power would only pose a threat in the future. With the destruction of Meditation True Person's avatars and the fall of Extinction Martial God, a solemn silence fell over the void. Numerous gazers focused on this area, where previously some had contemplated exploiting the situation like a cunning oriole behind a praying mantis. However, witnessing Lin Fei's formidable strength, they abandoned such thoughts. Facing a peerless powerhouse like Lin Fei, their own demise would be swift and inexplicable. Many powerful beings were genuinely fearful. Buzz. But just at that moment, the void trembled. The very fabric of heaven and earth seemed unstable as cracks in the void appeared suddenly. An aura of apocalypse and destruction spread throughout the void. Is this the world collapsing? The realm of True Spirit is about to collapse, the world's origin is emerging. Northwind True Person's voice, tinged with a hint of excitement, reached Lin Fei's ears. Chapter 505. A single force intimidating the gods of the divine realm. True Spirit realm is about to collapse. Lin Fei was slightly startled. The initial estimate was that the realm would collapse in 3 months, but now it was happening sooner. Upon reflection, he realized that his fierce battles with Extinction Martial God and Meditation True Person, earth-shattering in their intensity, were likely the real catalysts for the realm's impending collapse. This was a significant development, as only through the collapse of a world could its origin be obtained. However, the ability to capture the world's origin would depend on the Northwind True Person. This was where his role and the culmination of his thousands of years of planning would come into play. "Northwind True Person, it's all up to you now," Lin Fei acknowledged. Northwind True Person had long been prepared for this moment. He inhaled deeply and declared, 9 heavens and 10 earths, the heavenly net formation activate. As Northwind True Person's command echoed, the entire realm of True Spirit seemed to roar to life. His numerous avatars, strategically positioned across the realm, had laid the groundwork for the formation. At his mental command, all avatars activated the formation. Brilliant lights shot up into the sky from various locations, and the formations, interconnected, covered the entire realm. This was the manifestation of Northwind True Person's methods and planning. Once True Spirit realm collapsed, his avatars would be ready to collect the entirety of its world origin. The only caveat was the potential interference of other powerful beings. Considering the number of martial gods and deity transformation entities hidden within the realm, it was unlikely they would stand idle at such a crucial moment. They would certainly attempt to seize the world's origin for themselves, especially when it was within arm's reach. How could they resist such a temptation? With a swift step, Lin Fei moved into the void, preparing himself for whatever was to come next in this rapidly unfolding scenario. Within 1 hour, all powerful beings from the Divine Realm and True Spirit Realm must leave. Those who remain after an hour will be slain without exception. Lin Fei's voice, brimming with lethal intent, resonated across the void. His proclamation immediately caused a stir. What a domineering martial god, to drive us away and even threaten to kill us. He's so arrogant. Just as True Spirit Realm is collapsing and the world origin is about to appear, he's forcing us out. Is he trying to monopolize the world's origin? I refuse to leave. What can he do to me? Easy for you to say, you're a deity transformation cultivator with numerous avatars. As a martial god with only this single body, if I'm targeted, I'm doomed. That's right, we martial gods must leave. I've planned in this realm for thousands of years, and now to leave empty-handed. Hurry, let's go. It's humiliating to stay here any longer. In response, numerous streaks of light left True Spirit Realm. Lin Fei's threat, backed by his feats of slaying extinction martial god and destroying meditation True Person's 1300 avatars, was not something to be taken lightly. Still, some deity transformation beings, reluctant to leave, decided to hide their avatars, hoping to seize a share of the world's origin once it appeared. However, they underestimated the situation. An hour later, Lin Fei deployed his Saber World and began to patrol the entire realm. With the full might of his Saber World, it would take only a few hours to scour the entire realm of True Spirit. As the Saber World descended and located some hidden avatars of the deity transformation entities, Lin Fei showed no mercy or interest in their explanations. Anyone who violated his decree was eliminated. Thus, Lin Fei continued his vigilant patrol, executing those who remained. Many deity transformation entities regretted their decision, losing numerous avatars. After several hours, True Spirit Realm was cleansed. Many stood outside in the Divine Realm, watching the events unfold. With the powerful beings cleared out, only Northwind True Person, the Heart Demon Martial God, and Lin Fei remained. Especially Lin Fei, patrolling relentlessly, spared no one who dared defy his rule. As for the native inhabitants of the True Spirit Realm, Lin Fei paid them no mind. Their fate was sealed from the beginning. With the destruction of the True Spirit Realm, all its beings would be annihilated. Such was the natural course of the heavenly Tao. Many worlds, even without any external forces, are destined to collapse and perish one day. External forces merely accelerate this process. Otherwise, the number of small worlds would continue to increase indefinitely, which is impossible. Nothing is truly eternal. Even the Divine Realm, is it really eternal? That is uncertain. One day, even the Divine Realm might collapse and be destroyed. Those Tao integration true immortals, who have merged with the great laws of the Divine Realm, will also fall and perish. In comparison, martial artists have a significant advantage. All their power resides within themselves, including the Tao they cultivate. Lin Fei watched the gradual collapse of the True Spirit Realm, expressionless yet fully aware of the entire realm. His focus was on the world's origin. As the realm collapsed, the origin, once hidden within the rules of the small world, started to emerge. Streaks of the world's origin began to appear in the void. With a swift motion, Lin Fei captured a strand of this origin in his hand. This strand quickly merged into his body, slightly increasing his physical strength. It was indeed the world's origin, but the quantity was too little, scattered throughout the void. Even with Lin Fei's immense strength, the total origin he could gather alone would be minimal. This is where deity transformation entities have a distinct advantage, with their numerous avatars and ability to form arrays, allowing them to gather all the world's origins. 9 heavens and 10 earths, heavenly net formation, collect. Northwind True Person commanded, and his formation was activated once more. The formation began to gather the world's origin from the void. The entire realm of True Spirit was covered by the formation. Northwind's every avatar, not just the battle ones but also countless others comparable to martial kings and nascent souls, participated. The sheer number was key in manipulating the formation. This was enough to collect the origin efficiently and effectively. These avatars, numerous as they were, posed no challenge for Northwind True Person to conjure. Not just hundreds or thousands, but tens or even hundreds of thousands could be easily manifested by him. Lin Fei looked around and saw the entire realm of True Spirit enveloped in an invisible net. This unseen web, designed to scour the world's origin from the void, efficiently collected the origin revealed due to the collapse of the realm. Lin Fei nodded in satisfaction, recognizing the benefits of cooperation. Without it, even with his formidable power, the amount of world origin he could have gathered alone would have been minimal. Once True Spirit realm completely collapsed, any uncollected origin would have perished along with it, a true waste. With the deity transformation entity orchestrating a large formation that covered the entire realm, it became possible to gather all of the world's origins. Lin Fei's role was equally crucial. His presence served as a deterrent. His task was to intimidate other martial gods and deity transformation entities, dissuading them from entering the True Spirit realm to seize the origin. His presence alone was a formidable guard against any invaders. Any who dared to breach the realm in pursuit of the origin would face his wrath, which could easily mean death. Extinction Martial God's fate served as a stark warning of Lin Fei's ferocity, deterring anyone from challenging the realm. Lin Fei stood as an unyielding guardian, effectively deterring the gods of the divine realm with his singular power.